Every minute, roughly 20 women are physically abused by their partner in the United States. And here in Louisiana, we rank second in the entire nation for people who are dying from domestic abuse. They're staggering statistics, and more studies are showing that women are at the greatest risk when they try to leave the situation. It's why we are choosing to highlight this local organization that's giving back in a big way. Behind these walls,
we like to call them survivors,
is a safe haven for women who find themselves in a tough situation.
They come in here, they get clothes, they get food, a safe place to live.
For nearly 40 years, the Iris Domestic Violence Center has provided compassion and support for battered women, currently serving more than 5,000 women and children across 8 parishes. The center provides emergency shelter and a shot at a second chance.
We help in different ways. One of the ways that we help is an on-site shelter. We can help them with emergency transportation or relocation if they are fleeing from an abuser. We can help provide clothing or have programs within which it assists them with rent if needed, if they are fleeing abusers. So there's a pretty large scope to the services that we provide.
And now even more support.
This is a little bit different than emergency housing in that this housing could be anywhere from 6 to 12 months of a transitional housing free of charge to those victims who stay here. We have 9 rooms, 6 of which are family oriented or kind of built in to accommodate family, a victim with their children. The other 3 are for victims who don't have children.
Named after late Board of Directors member Sylvia Duke, Sylvia's Safe Haven is very much a family affair.
She just loved the Iris Center. She really is a special place in her heart, and she loves fundraising and, helping women and children and all survivors.
Sylvia's granddaughter, Heather Duke Posick, and her husband, former LSU football standout and NFL Cleveland Browns player Ethan Posick, are carrying on Sylvia's legacy, and that means everything.
Just coming here and seeing some people and meeting all the great people that work here, and they have a lot of great values and they do such a good job.
Our hope is that this wing will prevent them from returning to their abusers, and if they have a year to save up and work and go to school, they won't need to return to their abusers, and we can help them escape that.
It's something very much echoed by aunt and uncle Ricky and Stacy Duke.
It's just a small slither of what my parents and my mother mainly has been, and the way she raised us as one oldest of 3 sons, and the way she always taught us to give back, and that how blessed we were, how fortunate we were, and how why wouldn't you help someone that needs help?
Sylvia passed away from COVID in 2020. Her loved ones made donations to the Iris Center after her passing, and her family knew they wanted to continue the work Sylvia was so passionate about.
Sylvia she left a legacy with all of her family, her children, her grandchildren, hopefully her great-grandchildren at one point. Left a legacy that says you help others, you give where you can, and this was her baby.
The new wing provides housing assistance for survivors of domestic abuse for up to a year. Essentially, those who qualify transition from the temporary housing available to more long-term apartment-style housing.
Because of the length of the stay, really wanted them to have more of a home feeling, and that was important to the Dukes as well.
The whole point of transitional housing is we want it to be an apartment-like instead of it being like a shelter, and that's one of my favorite things about this center. It doesn't seem like a shelter to me. It seems like a home.
Down to the details of numbers on the doors, so it looks like apartment, housing.
According to the National Domestic Violence Hotline, victims of domestic abuse return to their abusive partners on average 7 times before leaving for good. And a big reason for that is not having a safe place to go to.
One of the wings we actually have, it's kind of set up like a store, so we'll have all the women's clothing in one room. Of course, you don't have to pay for it. You just go in and get what you need. Children's clothing, personal hygiene items are in one. Housing, like, cookware or anything like that. If you're going to be moving to a more permanent housing, you can go and get cookware or things you need to set up a household, basically.
The Iris Center has helped thousands of children and women, and every single year they provide safe housing to nearly 500 people. If you need help, you can call their 24-hour crisis hotline at 225-389-3001. If you would like to give back or volunteer, you can reach out to the center by going to stopdv.org. With Unfiltered with Karen, I'm Karen Chawla.